PlayStation 5 Pro, and how it advances gaming technology. But first, I want to take just a minute to look at what we put in the original PlayStation 5 and how it delivers an exceptional gaming experience.
Check out the shirt. Peep the shirt. Look at that. I don't hate PlayStation.
When PS5 debuted in 2020, it brought a lot to the table. 8 Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5 and enable high-speed, complex gameplay, with character counts reaching into the hundreds and frame rates that can be as high as 120 frames a second. PS5 has a powerful RDNA 2 GPU, which can render anything from intricate details to fantastic worlds with vast panoramas to explore. Ray tracing allows for dramatic visual improvements, including reflections off of water or glass, and the realism that comes from real-time global illumination.
I like this.
A custom SSD can load data at breathtaking speed, resulting in ultra-fast transitions between game worlds and data streaming rates so high that traversal speeds are essentially unlimited.
You okay? I'm working on it!
Tempest 3D audio tech brings an unparalleled sense of immersion to the sound of the games. With audio so real, you may not even need to see the enemies to know exactly where they are. Finally, the DualSense controller has haptics that let you feel through your hands what your character is experiencing inside of the game. It's one...
Whoops. This is what happens when you try to increase the quality on YouTube. My bad, my bad.
Inside of the game. It's wonderful to see such variety and richness of game experiences. Creators have made amazing use of the hardware capabilities, but when I talk to them, I do hear about their desire for more graphics performance. The dreams of the developers are bigger than can be supported at 60 frames per second, and that leads to an aspect of modern gaming that we're all familiar with: graphics modes. It can be a difficult choice for players.
Not really. I always choose.
Fidelity modes emphasize the visuals, typically through higher resolution rendering. These modes might also have enhanced detail or use more ray tracing. But the games only run at 30 frames per second. The visuals can be choppier and the controls less responsive. Performance modes emphasize frame rate and interactivity, typically choosing to run at 60 frames per second, mainly by reducing the graphical detail until those frame rates can be achieved. When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time. Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5 Pro. We want to give players the graphics that the game creators aspire to, at the high frame rates that players typically prefer. To do that, PS5 Pro substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways. Here's what we call the Big 3. First, we made the GPU much larger and increased the speed of the memory it uses. The result is rendering that's up to 45% faster. Second, we made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of the rays at double or even triple the speeds of PlayStation 5. And finally, we added custom hardware for machine learning and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short. PSSR analyzes the game images pixel by pixel and can add an extraordinary amount of detail, which boosts the effective resolution of the games. Game creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles, and with the Big 3 involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame rate. Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro. It has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second. Let's compare this to the fidelity mode on PS5, which is only running at 30 frames per second and is therefore much choppier.
Don't stop! We gotta lose.
This goal of delivering almost fidelity-like graphics at performance frame rates has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5. Another way to compare the two consoles is to look at PS5 Pro versus Performance mode on PS5, both of which target 60 frames per second. What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5. For this, my favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet & Clank. Distant details are much clearer. And here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene, including the trees and procedural cars.
I mean, this is a pretty
So
good upgrade.
overall, some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive gameplay. This is the big three showing their value. As you've been seeing, machine learning via the PSSR library is being used quite broadly to add pixel detail and boost frame rate. But there are as many approaches as there are game engines. The increase in raw GPU power is being especially effective for Horizon Forbidden West. Apart from the detail boost, that extra graphics power is allowing for improvements to lighting and visual effects, as well as to the hair and the skin in cinematics.
Open up, guys. Jorv's orders.
Good enough for me.
Ray tracing is finding broad usage as well, particularly when the games are focused on higher frame rates. The faster hardware in PS5 Pro can make a real difference. Allowing Gran Turismo 7 to add ray-traced reflections between the cars in gameplay, while continuing to support their targeted 60 frames per second. That boost in ray tracing is also delivering big wins for Hogwarts Legacy, allowing not only for better reflections and a greater variety of reflective surfaces, but also for further realism in the casting of shadows. I hope you've enjoyed this run-through of the technology behind PlayStation 5 Pro. Simply put, it's the most powerful console we've ever built, and a worthy addition to the PS5 family. Let me wrap this up by giving you a quick look at a number of games running on the new console.
You'll never
Don't let me hang it.
Close your eyes. It'll be worth it.
Okay.
Did I do it? Oh, what is this? What's with all the neon?
PlayStation.
That's it, right? It was just... They're not gonna show how it... Did they show it? I mean, I probably missed it. Let me see.
All the neon.
I hear this. Okay. So yeah, it looks like they're releasing the digital version first. You know, I think I'm good. I'm not gonna upgrade, obviously. I have my Spider-Man PS5. But maybe when the digital one comes out and then it's on sale, I might do it. Maybe. In all honesty, that's an upgrade that I think is... I didn't expect the AI part. That's actually pretty cool. It's smart, and I think that's the way to go about it, especially with these upgrades now, because, you know, the larger CPUs and all that, you know, sometimes it's not going to be that much of a gap in the jump, but AI can help increase that speed and ease for a lot of these games to reach the fidelity that they want. So I kind of do like the fact that they're trying to get, you know, 60 frames with fidelity, and I think that's the problem that a lot of us gamers have been having with consoles, you know. Well, not anymore. I play on PC mostly now, but it was a problem for a lot of games. That's why I always chose performance. There was really no point for fidelity. It's laggy. The controls are, you know, they're not as, what is it called? The response times are very low. But yeah, sorry, I just woke up, so if I sound kind of off, it's because I just woke up. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, the Xbox alone is expensive, and not everyone can afford multiple consoles or even upgrading, you know, pretty fastly to other consoles. So if you have the Xbox and that's all you have, and it is expensive, that's completely fine, you know. But that's why I make a lot of these posts that I do. You know, I like to kind of poke and pry and see like what people are saying about, like, you know, people who just can only afford an Xbox, or people that can only afford a PlayStation 5, you know. It's just, I think it's unfairly weighed on the people who own Xbox, because not only that, you know, Microsoft themselves, like, I don't think they really care about the console race or the market anymore. Or I mean, maybe they do care, but they're just not as competitive, and that's gonna hurt owners of the Xbox. It's gonna hurt, you know, Microsoft itself, because we're not stupid. We go where the value is, right? So if you are gonna have I mean, they said the Series X is their Pro version. That sounds so insulting to your buyers. Why didn't you promote that from the beginning? This is the Pro console, and the Xbox Series X is the regular console. It's just weird. The messaging's all over the place, and it's really insulting to people like yourself who own an Xbox, considering an Xbox Series X, considering how expensive it is. But I do have to give props to PlayStation. I don't hate PlayStation. You know, on Twitter, they all like to say that crap. But I only dislike, you know, I don't even hate, but I dislike those ponies. That's what they call them, right? The ponies, which is the PlayStation Sony boys, the fanboys, who like to attack you personally for criticizing anything that has to do with their console. Like, for example, how Astrobot underperformed. It looks like it is in the UK right now in terms of physical sales. So it's not that I'm happy about that. It's just I was kind of like saying, like, hey, if this is happening, you know, it'd be great if you could release the game on multiple consoles. I would like to play Astrobot. I don't feel like playing it on the PlayStation 5. I really don't. I would rather have it on the Steam Deck, you know, on Steam, you know, since I'm building my library there. I could wait. I have a huge library. I do appreciate PlayStation, though, for keeping that traditional nature alive. You know, they care. They care about the console. They care about the whole environment about it. And it's just like, if Xbox is out, you know, we're gonna only have the PlayStation. You know, I sat through, you know, Sega. You know, the Dreamcast, when that was their last console, that was sad. You know, having to go through that sucked. Seeing all your favorite games being spread amongst different consoles on the Xbox, on the PlayStation 2, while it sounded cool when I was younger, it was crazy. But it all turned out for the best. You know, Sonic is still here and doing great. We have a lot of great Sega properties like the Like a Dragon series and the Yakuza series. Will Xbox do that? I don't know. I mean, they haven't even made a Banjo-Kazooie game, and everybody's been clamoring for a Banjo-Kazooie game. I've been wanting a Banjo-Kazooie game since the second game on Nintendo 64. I played them, beat them on Nintendo 64, and it's just weird. Yeah, the Dreamcast. You saw my Dreamcast post? Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jay. Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. I'm really happy to still have that stuff. There's a lot of gaming things that I'm trying to look for that I lost or got stolen, because, you know, me and my family when we were younger, we used to move a lot, and then we'd leave stuff in storage, and some of the stuff in storage got stolen. And it sucks because there's no way we could prove it, because it was years ago. I have a PlayStation 1, like the actual PlayStation 1 that opens up with the screen. I had that. My mom bought multiples of that. She loved the PlayStation. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. So I think this is cool. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm not gonna upgrade right away. This is not a day one buy for me. Absolutely not. I gotta be smart with my money. There's really nothing to play with this at the moment that I'm really interested in, that I really want to play. Maybe Spider-Man 2, but that could play just fine on my PlayStation 5. Same with Rebirth, which I have, but I'm going to wait until it comes out on PC. I'd like to kind of complete the games on PC. So far, I had an amazing experience with Remake, Final Fantasy VII Remake on my Steam Deck. Take it with me to travel and all that. It's really cool. Nice experience. But yeah. All right, so I can see the comments from Twitch, and if you're on YouTube, just comment ahead. I'll try to find your comments. I'm gonna probably stay for a little bit longer, maybe 20 more minutes, 30 more minutes. But yeah, that was cool to see. That was cool to see. I like seeing AI being implemented into gaming. If people are against that and they're not for it, or is going to take away jobs or whatever, this is going to help people. AI is going to help people. People are working too hard, spending too many hours, and sometimes you'll have games that will just fail, like Concord, like all that work gone to nothing, done for nothing, because they're spending so much time, and you know, crunch nature is really bad. So when I see people that are against AI, I feel like these people are like corpos, like actual corporate people who want to work people to the bone and not give them free time to meet their family, or you know, or time to spend and have fun and just kind of take a break, you know, because as humans, we cannot work forever. We have to take breaks, you know. It's like, I think AI is the best thing since sliced bread. So the fact that they're using AI, I think is a very smart capability. I wonder if it was like, if they bought the chips. I mean, I'm not really technical with this stuff, but if they bought the chips from NVIDIA, since NVIDIA has some pretty fast, or anything implemented from NVIDIA, or is it AMD? I mean, it's really cool. It's a smart idea. You know, you don't have to have the fastest and the biggest and the strongest. You know, if you have like a pretty decent chip that could run that AI, I think it works, and they managed to make it work. Yeah, so that larger GPU, I guess that's what's gonna take most of the brunt. I think that's for AI, I guess. So interesting. I mean, it's really cool. Really cool. So I think I would imagine the AI driven upscaling would kind of be like DLSS, right? But they're calling it the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. I'm sorry, but that's a horrible name. They should have just called it PlayStation Super Resolution, but I guess Spectral had to be added in there. But it's cool, man. It's cool. Maybe I'll upgrade. I don't know. Maybe I'll upgrade. At this time, no. I think it'll be all right. the only let's see, wait a second. Well, actually, yeah, if you know, get it when that's yeah, that's how you do it. When you get the money, when you have the money, buy it. If you think it's something that you know, would bring you happiness and just a good time, then go for it. But you also could play. I know you want to play Detroit Become Human. That's also on PC. I was playing it on PlayStation 5, but when I found out it was on PC, I just decided to buy it on PC, and I'll be playing it there. But it's on PC. It's on Steam. You can get it for like $10. So, yeah. But I understand some people don't have the PC capabilities, but my Steam Deck runs it fine. So. Just 1 second. Yep, yeah, that's true. Anyway, I'm gonna head out now. I got a lot of stuff to take care of, but that was cool, I guess. Interesting to see how that turns out and how people will be willing to buy this. This is also gonna be a big indicator of, I guess, where consoles are going. I mean, like how many sales? I mean, like what, 65 million or something like that, or 60 million PlayStation 5 sold. So it'll be interesting to see, like, whatever the amount is, how many of those people buy the Pro upgrade, considering that the Portal only had like 3% of that sold or bought. But we don't have numbers for the Portal, and I don't think they're going to share the numbers for that. So it'll be interesting to see. Are they going to share the Pro numbers or not? Either way, that was fun. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. And yeah, you can catch me on Twitter if you need or X, whatever they call it. And yeah, I'll